Hey everybody, so in this episode, I'm going to give you guys a tour of the Zine, or whatever you want to call this thing, the 24-hour zine I made in the previous episode. So if you haven't watched the previous, the making episode of this zine, go watch that. In this episode, I'm just going to give you guys like a tour of every single page I've made. So let's do that. So the cover, I just call this book called Make Something because I wanted to make something in a day. And this book was like made by Sai Krishna from Untitled Workshops. He's a good friend of mine, and he's got a printing place. He's got a big printing press. So he made this book in a day for me using cheap copy paper because I wanted a quick one. So he made this book for me in a day. So the actual size, which I sort of imagined, was a lot bigger than this, but hey, I sort of got used to this over time. So yeah. So the first page is, the idea of this entire book is to use this book when I forget stuff. Meaning, I want to remind myself some concepts and ideas and things that I keep forgetting, or because I have the tendency to overthink stuff, and I wanted to sort of make this book sort of a reminder for me, take this thing, flip this around, and remind myself of the crucial stuff. So it says here, this book is a collection of super random bite-sized thoughts and notes for myself. I have the tendency to forget what's important, and this little book is a reminder. And I drew a little TV right here. I don't know why I drew a little TV, so yeah, there you have that. And that's the foreword, the first page. Like I said, I was inspired by that Milk and Honey book, the thing. It had these short quotes and lines and stuff like that. So I was like, I want to make it like that. So the first page is just like, say cheese. Then it says, for the love of God, smile more, man. When you smile, the brain smiles. That was my stupid idea of there's a little brain right here. It sort of smiles like little brain. The second page is sort of like make something spread. I just went ahead and just doodled and drawn every single idea that came to my head. So this page is like, make something. All right, make something in a day, like this book, with speed, with the deadline, with constraints foster creativity. This is a reminder for me to make stuff quickly. And this is like a little roadmap as to say, how do you make stuff? Okay, first step is pick something, then you pick a deadline, then choose your constraints, then you start, then you feel the fear, then you enjoy the ride, then you get bored, then you procrastinate, then you eat a donut, dread the middle, run to the finish line, and finish the damn thing and ship it. And there is a little donut I drew right here. So yeah, this is how this entire book is sort of, made, because all these little quotes and things that I usually like. And this is like, know what you can and can't control. You got this hand right here, right? And this is a quote from Epictetus. So when I see an anxious person, I ask myself, what do they want? For if a person wasn't wanting something outside their own control, why would they be stricken by anxiety? Epictetus. This is like, for me, when times, I get anxious a lot, so this is like thing. This is like a little thing. So everything else, and the difference between what you can control and what you can control, which is your will. I said I can't, right? I think I said I can right here. So yeah, that's the idea. This is like another thing, which is allow yourself to fail, because I have the tendency to be a perfectionist. I want every little single piece of thing that I make to be perfect, and this thing is sort of like an idea for me to allow yourself to fail. It's going to be all right. Like wanting to have a perfect streak or whatever is impossible. Good takes time, and micro failures are part of the process. So allow yourself to fail. That's the idea right here. And this is like a little quick thing. So like this of this entire book is like quick ideas that came to my head, drawn and doodled, all of them. Like make more, fail more, learn more, and get better, right? That's like my 4-step process for getting better, right? So next page is like, progress is better than perfection, because progress, get better is way better than perfection, and never make anything, right? That's what usually happens to me. It's like, I want to be perfect, man. I want to get things right. I want to do this. I want to do that, and I never make anything. But rather, you make something, you work on that thing. By the way, I'm not trying to sort of give advices and like do stuff like that. No. That's not my thing right here. This is 100% for me and me only. That's the reason I made this book, because I forget these things often. And that's what I'm sort of trying to do here, remind myself of things. So next thing is focus, because I had the tendency to focus on too many things at the same time. I don't know why. So this is like, it says, do one thing at a time, one project at a time, and finish it. You can do everything, just not at the same time. This to me, like advice to me when I want to do too many projects at the same time. And the quote here is, chase 2 rabbits and you will not catch either one. Russian proverb. And this little, what do you call this thing? Magnifying glass, right? And a rabbit's foot. The printing is bad because, Sai Krishna had to get it done in a day, and all these things are cheap copy paper and like home printers. This is one of my favorite Tamil quotes. I'm a Tamil. I'm from Tamil Nadu, India. If you guys didn't notice, I speak the language Tamil, and this is one of my favorite quotes in Tamil by a poet named Mahakavi Bharatiyar. He's a wonderful, courageous wordsmith is a better word to describe him. King, that guy is. It says, Yarukum manjeen, adarkum manjeen, ingum anjo, sorry, not anjom, and yeppodum anjom. And that means, don't fear anything. That's what it means. Like, don't fear anything, don't fear no one, don't fear anywhere, or don't fear at any time. Like, that's literal translation. And Bharatiyar has a big mustache. So that's why I sort of put his name inside a mustache. So that's some creativity right there, right? So next one is a quote from one of my mentors. One of my favorite quotes. All your problems are imaginative. And this is my addition right here. At least most of them are. Because, I used to like sort of, have these weird problems inside my head, and most of them are literally nothing when you put things in perspective. Like when coronavirus hit, right, which is right now, that puts things in perspective, right? That's a problem. What's going on inside here? It's not a problem. It's like gumpy issues, And this is a quote from Invictus. No, not a quote. What am I saying? It's a poem, Invictus, from the movie. Not the movie. What am I saying? William Ernest Henley, right? So I really loved this poem after I read it from that Nelson Mandela comic made by Zen Pencils. So, this is one of my favorite poems, and I read this thing and sort of, I don't know, it sort of gets I don't want to say anything, because if I say anything, right, it makes me want to come off like this philosophical dude, which I'm not. And even though I talk about a lot of those stuff, darkness helps me deal with darkness. That's what I'm saying. Right? And this is one of my favorite thing, right? It says, set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. Jordan B. Peterson. It's a quote from Jordan B. Peterson. And this guy right here, it's like, this guy is like screaming at everybody and protesting, saying, you suck, I rock, I'm the right guy, I'm doing the right stuff in the world. You suck because you're this, that, boom, boom, boom. But when you look at his house is burning, it's got holes on the top. He doesn't have his shit together. And he's criticizing everybody before even, sort of setting his whole own crap in order. So that's the idea behind this thing. And I'm not much of a big protest guy. So anyways, this is one of my favorite quotes again. I'm not Christian, by the way. I'm not endorsing any religion, even though this is a Christian quote. But I came across this thing when I was seeing this TV show, and it says, blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for he has stood the test. He will receive the crown of life. This is like a good quote that reminds me to like just hold the hell on, right? Like hold it, hang on, hang in there, like that cat poster. So this is James 1:12 or something. And this, when I was making this book, some twinkle douche on Instagram was really messing with me, right? And then he was, I don't want to get into that. So he got offended because I said something, and I was like, man, people who get offended often finds a way to get offended. He was getting offended at literally everything, every goddamn thing. And that's why I made this next thing, which is, I was talking politics with him, that's why I got offended. Right? This is my favorite thing. Don't talk politics with strangers on the internet. Either do it in real life or you don't. Because you can't punch people through the phone. That's the idea. That's the idea of this quote. Don't talk. I tend to not talk politics on the internet because people hide behind screens, right? They hide behind screens and they use these magical, mystical words and these beautifully crafted sentences that they think it means something, which they don't. It doesn't, and you can't argue with them. But in real life, you have to actually face the person before you spout all that crap, right? So that is very hard to do that. That's my personal opinion. Like, talk politics with people in person so that you can actually better to know. I'm not a guy who supports violence by any means, but even though I can get pretty physical with people. I don't mean that. Cut that part. So this is another thing from Batman. It's like, it's not who you are underneath, it's what you do that defines you. So Batman, even though he's dark and stuff, he's holding an ice cream right there, right? That's the idea behind this thing. And this says, who you are defines what you do, defines who you are, and it's like a cyclical process. This is my favorite quote from the Batman Begins movie. So this is the last page. It says, finish what you've started and start what you will finish. Again, I'm not trying to spout off advice. This is for myself because I take up too many projects at the same time and I don't finish them, or I start things which I can't finish possibly. So this is an advice for myself. This is probably one of my favorite lines in this entire book, and this is how it goes, right? This is from the movie Into the Spider-Verse. It says, when will I know I'm ready, right? Like Miles asks Peter Parker, and Peter Parker says, you won't. It's a leap of faith. That's all it is, Miles. It's a leap of faith. So yeah, that's pretty much it. My signature fin, the end. And I've got some, what do you call this thing? My social media links right here. Yeah, you can find me here if you guys want me. So yeah, that's the book right there. I don't know how many pages this is. I think it's like 24 pages. Good little book. It was made in a day. I had fun making it. It was really nice to sort of literally turn into an author in one day, which I did. So from now on, I'll be referred to as Kesh, illustrator, video producer, YouTuber, and author. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. I'll see you guys next one. Bye-bye.